LoreWarrior vehicles. RRV Rock Rover halftrack. In modern times, the average military table of organisation and equipment, or the TO&E, features listings of battle mechs, aerospace fighters, and conventional vehicle forces in the grossest of possible terms, often overlooking the supporting vehicular apparatus beyond the main battle tank, the fighter, and other combat units. And while this is hardly news to most, the fact remains that even a mention of motorised or mechanised conventional infantry tends to overlook the actual means by which many infantry units are indeed mobilised. Often such troops are comprised of a combination of small vehicles, unarmoured jeeps and military motorcycles built not so much for raw speed, but to transport squads of infantry in tight formation on the field or amid the winding streets of the urban maze. The RRV Rock Rover half-track is an example of one such vehicle favoured by mechanised conventional infantry formations and a prime specimen of modern standards in small-scale infantry and logistics support. Built by Pinard Electric Motors of the Taurian Concordat, the RRV weighs in at a mere 4 tons in mass, over a quarter of which is devoted to cargo. Well armoured for its size, the vehicle can easily resist most small arms fire and boasts the ability to give as good as it gets. It has a turret-based Magna Red Star support laser and 2 side pintle-mounted auto-rifle bubbles, each able to zero in on enemy threats with the aid of the same kind of full, military-grade targeting and tracking systems found in most mechs and combat vehicles. Intended principally to provide up to 2 full squads of infantry with basic on- and off-road transportation and firepower, the RRV is built just large enough to hold 10 to 14 fully equipped, unarmoured infantrymen in its rear cargo bay, with seating for the vehicle, driver and 2 gunners, including one at the upper turret seat. Weapon slits along the vehicle's hull provide troops on board with ventilation and the ability to fire from the vehicle even when in motion. The slits may also be closed to protect against the elements, though not terribly fast. The RRV's ground speed and half-track design allow it to enter terrain larger combat vehicles can't negotiate as easily. Furthermore, with over 2 ton of cargo space available, the vehicle has proven its value as a logistics support unit, in addition to being an infantry transport. Though marketed for military sale, the RRV has entered the civilian market of the periphery, and even the inner sphere in various forms. Most common is the commercial security model, which tends to swap the weapons and cargo for a little more ground speed. Similar designs are also commonplace among competitors and arms suppliers for other states as well, including Gina Automotive's 3-ton Rumbler HT, or Buda Imperial's Limpet, which matches the RRV in pretty much every way, except for the use of an SRM in place of the support laser. So yeah, just a half-track, a nice little vehicle, and as it says, they're overlooked, but they're very important on the modern battlefield. So, stat-wise, the RRV Rock Rover is a 4-ton vehicle, massing 4,000 kilograms, as it says. It has a cruise of 2 and a flank of 3, with no required heat sinks. It has 625 kilometer fuel range, and it has an armour factor of 12, with 3 on the front, 3 on the sides, 2 on the rear, and 1 on the turret. It has its support laser with 30 shots for its... so basically this is like one of those very low-powered lasers that require ammo, power packs to work. And it has 2 automatic rifles with 300 rounds each, obviously in the left and right pintle, and there's a body-mounted ammo section and the advanced fire control system. For a total crew of 4, 1 driver with 3 gunners, can carry 1,000 kilograms of infantry in the first bay, 779 kilograms standard of cargo. It has the armoured chassis and control modification features, 3 crew seats, 225 kilograms in the body, and 1 handheld searchlight, which you can see there on the front. It's a nice little vehicle. The artwork's good. Again, I appreciate the mention of there being other sort of regularly seen competing elements there, such as the Rumbler or the Limpet, which I would have loved, obviously, for there to have been some artwork for those as well. Would have been pretty cool. But being able to see this Rock Rover and giving you an idea of this being a fairly common sight in a lot of worlds during combat. So, yeah, it's cool having something like the half-track, the humble half-track being shown. It's such a common vehicle in pretty much any kind of game that you play out there. And there's you look at obviously things like Warhammer 40k, for instance, with their like Rhino half-tracks and Chimeras for the Imperial Guard, and other transport vehicles like for the tower, like Devilfish and stuff. These are all the equivalent of the half-track in those games, and there's any number of World War II games, the half-track becomes massively important in early games of things like Company of Heroes, for instance, with the SDKFZ and the M3 half-tracks and Bren carriers and all these kind of things. So, yeah, they should have been something that was, I think, in the original TROs for Battletech, because infantry were there since the early days, and using them was also quite important. So, yeah, having them mention in a lot of write-ups about things like mechanized infantry units, but not actually giving you any vehicles for what it is that they usually, were they just all in trucks? Were they just all running around in like Striker, combat vehicles or Galleon light tanks, for instance? What exactly was a mechanized transport? And yeah, here's an example of one. Again, from the brilliant technical readout Vehicle Annex. And that covers actually all of the wheeled vehicles that are in there. And the next ones will be going into the hover vehicles, which cover again quite a range of different roles, from civilian, security personnel, private ownership, military. So we'll catch you in some of those. But for now, that's the Rock Rover. And thanks for listening as always. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.